everyone, welcome back. I'm so happy you're here, and of course we hope you already have an amazing day so far. For everyone who is new here, welcome. My name is Janny and I'm doing this DIY channel together with Dyanne. On this channel you will find lots and lots of seasonal decor DIYs and daily decor DIYs, so enough to see. We hope you enjoy it, and of course if you're not subscribed to our channel, we hope you will click the red subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. It would help our channel a lot to grow. So enough talking, let's jump into today's DIY inspiration. And for this DIY we need of course our tumbling tile blocks, and I use the smaller blocks this time. Of course you can buy the small blocks everywhere. I have here my little container. I have always standing here with some markers, some scissors, some cutters, some wire, everything I need the most of the time. Of course I use my wood glue, but you also can use some hot glue, but be aware that the hot glue is not really sturdy, so your piece can really break easily, so be careful. Of course some paint at your choice. My saucer with some old piece of kitchen towel to wipe away the glue we don't need. For this DIY we are going to make a candle holder, but of course it's the season, but a candle holder you can use for every season. So this is a candle holder for every season, and we do it with a twist, so we will see how this will turn out. So we are going to start with 8 blocks, and this is 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and we're going to glue them on the side. And this is 1, number 2, and place them already a little against each other, not too much. And this is number 5 and number 6, number 7 and number 8 will be the closure up. Squeeze them, press them together this way. And of course I do it always out of hand, but if you want to use a metal hook, there are metal hooks you can place your blocks in, and then you have a straight line. I always do it out of my head. I'm just a little bit impatient because I'm not one to wait to do the metal hook and everything. I have them laying around, but I always do it this way. But be my guest, just do whatever you think feels right. 6, 7, 8. I already say 6 because in the Netherlands is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's in the Netherlands, and of course, but you count different in English. And sometimes I mix up both of them. So here is always a little bit of English and a little bit of Dutch. So number 4, number 5, number 6 and number 7. And again, squeeze them together like this, and you already have row number 2. And of course later I'm going to, you see already this one is a little bit smaller than the other blocks, so I think I'm going to use this one for another project, because the bottom I always like to get it even, and I don't like it when then things are not really fitting. And you see already this one is also smaller. You see, you still can see it very easily, so I have to think about it what I'm going to do, because it's not dry and it takes a little bit longer to dry, so I have still time to think about it. And now I'm going to go for row number 3. And if you made a DIY and you want to show us what you made, of course I hope you give us a mail with some pictures of your DIY. And of course a lot of people already did, and I really love to see how you make your DIYs, because I can learn so much from it. And this is already number 3, and we're going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes. So in the meantime, while this is drying, and you see already I have here 2 blocks I already placed out of this one. Now I have them all 3 equal, because I use them later in the DIY, but of course the bottom I always try to make sure that this is the same size. Now we're going to get 6 blocks and we're going to glue them together. And number 2. And of course, for everyone who is here and doesn't like to see how it is made step by step, of course, I'm sorry, but this is the way I do my DIYs. But if you don't like it, I understand. You can of course skip forward. Of course I hope you don't, but you can't do it. And but for everyone who loves to see it step by step, that's why I do it, and so you can easily make it your own. And I make the mistakes, and you can make it in one piece and in a very fast time, because I already did the mistakes for you. And this is number 6, like this, and we're going to give this also a little bit of the wipe from our towel, because we don't want to glue with this coming out. So I'm going to let this rest also. So now I'm going to get my 3 pieces like this. I'm going to turn them and I'm going to place them this way. What I'm going to do, they are still not dried totally. So if they fall apart, don't worry. Nothing is wrong, because the glue is still not totally dried. It's not really a bad thing, because that's always is with wood glue. And the great thing about it, you still can redo your project. So don't worry if it falls apart, just glue it together again. It doesn't matter. So now we're going to give it a little bit of straightening like this. And you see already I have to squeeze a little and go over it with my towel this way. And I'm going to let this rest for a couple of minutes. Now I'm going to take the 2 piece and I'm going to place one on the side again. And I'm going to give this one also a little bit of glue on the side. Place it carefully down, and we're going to squeeze also these 2 parts together so it can easily dry in. And again, wipe away the glue you don't need. It makes your work a lot nicer to see, because we always go for a nice high-end look. We don't know if every time we succeed, but we are going to go at least for the try. So I'm going to let this dry in at least for, I think, half hour. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to take this part and this part, we're going to turn it over, and we're going to do some glue in a square. And make sure that you have every block, because we want that everything is gluing very nicely together. And we're going to turn it over. Make sure that you have the blocks in the same direction. Of course, if you don't like it, you can of course turn it, but I can't tell you what to do, but I'm going for at least this direction. I'll give it a little bit of pressure, and then you're going to look for if you have on each side the same measurement. And then we're going to let this dry, and this is already the base, the bottom of our holder. So our base is drying. We're going to get 6 blocks of 8 blocks. And again, what we're going to do, we make 4 pairs of 2. So you use 1 and you squeeze this one. You use again 1 block. You squeeze this one. You use again 1 block. Place this against each other and this one. And also squeeze them both and make a nice straight line, because you have to have this one straight, because we're going to build with these blocks. Again, squeeze them, and also this one, squeeze it and make a straight line. And we're going to get our towel and we're going to wipe away the glue over here and over here. And again, if you of course when you use your towel, sometimes your blocks go a little bit offline again, so make sure that you look after it and make sure that it still is a nice straight line. So now we take our 4 blocks of 2 and we're going to do very easy, some glue on the side, and we're going to make a square. If you are here for a little bit longer time, you already know how to make this one. Very easy, and place them together. And we're going to do again 1 on the side, and we're going to place this one not on the front but against this one over here. And now the last one, we are going to do some glue on this side and a little line on the inside over here. And now we're going to place it in between, and if everything is correctly, everything can fit inside and you have a nice square. And we're going to let this one rest. But of course, you know me, we don't need 1, we need more than 1. So I'm going to make again another one, but I will do it a little bit faster. In totally we are going to make 3. So I'm going to do, this is already 1, and I'm going to make the other 2 a little bit faster. So I have here my 3 little squares. What I'm going to do very easy. I'm doing some glue on the inside of this block opening. I'm going to place very carefully, because it's not totally dry yet, on top of each other. I'm going to do also some glue on the inside of this block. See, very carefully over here. And we're going to place the last one very carefully on top of here. And now we're going to make sure that we have it in a straight line, and we're going to give it at least a half hour to dry. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this one over, and I'm going to do also here some glue on the inside. Over here, make sure that you have a little bit of a thin line, just over here on the sides. And we're going to turn it over again, and we're going to place it on top of here on the middle of our, and I have to look for that I have it exactly in the middle. And this way, I think I am almost at the place I need to be. So, of course, take your time for it to look for if you have it in a straight line, because you don't want it that your holder is not totally in the middle. I'm going to give it a little bit of pressure, and then we are going to place this aside, and we're going to make now the top of our holder. So now I'm going to get 14 blocks, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and number 14. We are going to glue them together in a straight line, very easy. And of course it takes a little bit of your time, but I'm going to do it as fast as I can. I always try to do it as fast as I can. So, but sometimes the glue or the other things are working against me, and it takes a little bit longer. And the last one will be the closure up. Squeeze it and make sure that you have a nice straight line. And this way I'm going to place it aside, and I'm going to get another 14 blocks. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. If I correctly, everything is fitting over here. Yes, it does. So I have really 14 pieces. And 1, 2, 3, and number 4, 7. I think I already count wrong because I'm already lost the numbers, but you see already I'm almost there. And the last, because 14 is always the closure up. Squeeze it and make sure that you have a nice straight line like this. And we're going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes. Of course, we wipe away the glue we don't need, because we need a nice clean surface. So again, give it at least a couple of minutes. In the meantime, while this is drying, I'm going to make 2 pieces of 5, but we're going to do them in the length, not in the sides, but on the tops. This is 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, and number 5 will be the closure up again. Squeeze it and make again also here a nice straight line until this, and lay it aside. And get, of course, your towel, wipe away the tops of the glue. And we're going to make a second one. 3, 4, 5. And we just make a nice row again. And for this one, I always use a little too much glue because I already did cut off a little piece of the top, but when you use it for the tops, it's always too much glue. So try to do as less as you can. And I'm going to go over it. Of course, he's already sitting on my towel and this way. And now we're going to make 2 from 2. So also on the tops a little glue. Place it against each other. And this one. And squeeze it. And squeeze it. And wipe away. I always say I sound like a record sometimes. I really do sound like a record, but of course I only want that you have the DIY you want and that you understand what I am going to make, because I have most of the time everything in my head but not somewhere else. So I am always have difficulties to tell you what to do. So I'm explaining it this way. So I was hearing myself telling you what I mean. What I mean is that I have the ideas in my head, but I have always, because I have to translate it in English, that's why it takes a little bit longer sometimes to tell you what to do. That's exactly what I mean, because I have to, of course, think in Dutch and I have to tell it to you in English. And I have it in my head and you don't know what I want you to do. So again, we're going to squeeze it, and you see already it still needs a little bit of work because one of the blocks is, you see here, he is totally round. So I have to work with him and make him fitting inside of my little plank I'm going to make. So that's the great thing about wood glue. You still can redo it a long time. And I have to squeeze this one in. And I'm going to let this dry in for at least a half hour. So this is not totally dried in, but we're going to make a line on the underside very carefully over here on one of the 5 already. And we're going to place them straight up and we're going to place them to the side. Of course, we do it loosely so we can easily work with it, because we need to get in the smaller blocks of the other 2 blocks. And we're going to do this way. Place it straight up. We're going to do this one, but we make a little on this side, on this side, and on this side. So, and very easy, we're going to squeeze it in. And we're going to do here the same. Just do the sides and of course the underside. Very easy. And we're going to place this one also on the inside, and now we're going to get all of them together this way. And of course you see already the blocks are not totally, they are a little offline over here and over here. I don't mind, but if you are not liking that, then you have to use an extra block and later saw the piece out off. Then you have everything in a straight line. So if you don't want to have that, do an extra block and then you can cut it off with your jigsaw. So I'm going to let this dry in for at least a half hour, because we have to work with it on the tops. And of course, if there is coming out a little bit of your glue, just take a little small brush and over here and just do a little dab over here and a little dab over here. Make sure that you wipe away the glue, because most of the time the glue is drying up clearly, but if you have too much, then it doesn't dry up very clearly. So if there is too much, get a brush and wipe it away. And of course, if you don't like, I have a little small opening in the middle, because the blocks are not the same measurement always. If you don't like that, just take some spackle and just wipe it in, and of course later sand it, and then you have a nice smooth surface. But I like always a little bit, which is not always perfect. So we will see how this will turn out. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to make a border inside, because I like that a little bit better. But make sure that you measure out that the candles you use that they still are fitting inside. Of course, you can use smaller candles. You also can use some wired lights, so you don't have to use it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to place 2 against here. So what I'm going to do, I'm doing some glue on the underside, a little over here, and on this side. So I'm going to place this over here, make sure that he's fitting inside. On this one, I'm going to do also on the inside a little glue, and I'm going to place it against this one, and we're going to make sure that everything is fitting, and we're going to squeeze them together this way. We're going to build further. We're going to do a little on the side and a little on the underside, and we're going to place it over here. We do here the same, and if everything is correctly, you don't get it totally fitting. We have to get our jigsaw, and we're going to saw out a little piece, and again on the tops and on the side. I have to look for, of course, I have to do this side over here, just a little glue, and we're going to place it over here. And the last for this side, and on the underside, and a little bit under, so it also sticks over there. And again, we're going to build further on the other side, on the tops. And we do it over here, because we work in the opposite direction. Right now we're going to place it over here. We're going to do here the same, the tops and over here, and sometimes you do a little bit under here, so everything is also fitting on the underside. Again, squeeze it this way. We do the tops. Of course I have to think, and now I'm going to do this one over here. I'm going to squeeze it in the tops, and we are almost there. Don't worry, I have to do it this way. I still have to think, and it isn't even Monday. I still need to think. So this way, and now we're going to make 2 on this side. So we do a little on the top, a little on the bottom, and of course on this side. Of course I have to think, no, I'm not doing it right. You see already, I have to place this one over here. Every time you still need to think where to place it. So of course a little on the underside over here, and just place it inside of here. And we're going to give it a little bit of pressure, and this way, and make sure that you have a nice straight line. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my marker, and I'm going to get a little block. I'm going to place it on this edge, and I'm going to mark off the piece I have to cut off, which is fitting for inside of here. And you see the 2 little pieces which need to be inside of here. Of course, I'm doing a little glue on this side and on the other side, and a little bit on the under. And we're going to try to squeeze it in, and this way we have to be careful. And we're going to do with this one the same, of course, on the side, on this side, and on the underside this way. And now we're going to squeeze this one also inside, and we hope everything will fit. And we wipe away the glue. And he is fitting inside, but this one I'm not totally happy. This one is perfect, but the other one is not really what I want, but I have to work with it. And of course I wipe away the glue which is coming out, because we don't want glue on the outside. So we're going to give it a couple of minutes drying. And of course, this is drying. We are going to make in the meantime the same little square we did on this one. Here we made 3 and we're going to make 1 extra. So 2 together, 2 together, 2 together, and make a nice square like we did earlier. And we're going to place this one in the middle. So this is the one we made already earlier, and this one will be in a moment over here. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue 3 blocks together. This is 1, number 2, and number 3 is the closure up. Squeeze it, press it together, make a nice straight line. And of course we're going to wipe away the glue we don't need, and we're going to give it a couple of minutes to dry. In the meantime, we're going to go further and we're going to take 6 blocks and we're going to glue them also together. 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. And number 6 will be the closure up again. Squeeze it in a straight line, and we're doing this a second time again. Of course, I have to be sure that my line is straight. I'm going to 3, 6. This is also 6 pieces, and we glue this one also on the side. Place them together. And number 4, and the last number 5. And we place number 6 and squeeze it. And you see already how much smaller this one is, and I really can't use it because you will see it, because it's kind of a stand you can place your season on. You know exactly what I mean later. You see it in a moment. It's not really a sign, it's kind of a sign, but something you can do for every season. So I'm going to give this one a couple of minutes drying. So we have our 3 pieces, 1 of 3, we have 2 of 6. I'm doing some glue over here, and we could do this 2 together. Very easy, just place it on top of each other this way. And we're going to place it on the side. Give it a nice little squeeze together. And we're going to give this time to rest also. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the 3 piece, this one. I'm going to get the square we made. I'm going to do some glue on the inside, like this. And I'm going to go around. I'm going to place it exactly in the middle of this block. And make sure that you have it in a straight line in the middle. That's always the nicest thing to see, then it is crooked. So we're going to give this also a couple of minutes to dry. So now we're going to place this one. Of course, we do some glue on the middle again, always on the middle, then the less glue is coming out of your outside. So I'm going to place, and I have to be sure that, because I want to have the stripes of the blocks the same way like I have this one. You see this one over here, and now I'm going to place this one, of course, in the middle, like here. And we have to look for that we have it in a straight line. This, and you can count out the blocks where you need to have it, and make just a simple line with your marker already in front. Then you can place it over here. So very easy. And we're going to let this rest. So this is how it's looking so far. You see, you just place this one in the middle. I'm going to get the double piece like this. We are going to glue also over here in the middle. Of course, we do some glue on the ending, and of course a little in the middle, so less glue is coming out. And we're going to place this one over here, and of course I have to look for that I have it in the middle, and I almost have, and he's still going a little bit upside down because maybe I used a little too much glue. So don't make the mistake that I do over here. And I'm going to let this dry in also. So this piece is also dried up, of course not totally, because it's always overnight, then everything is totally dry. What I'm going to do some glue on the inside of the top over here, and just we need of course a little bit more, because this has to be sticking really well, because or else our piece is falling apart, and that's not what we want. Of course I'm going to turn this one over, and I'm going to see already this one is 14 pieces, this one is 14, and of course we have to make sure that we have our stand in the middle of this one. So you have to count out where you want to have it. Of course this is more a little bit like 2.5 blocks if you are doing this way. Of course I have to look for 2 and also 2 wide, so I'm going to get, if you go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, this will be the middle. And of course if you are really want to be sure, just get a little mark over here, and of course here it has to be in between, and you have to be 2 blocks so everything is correctly. Of course I have to look that I have the lines in the straight line, because these blocks are going this way and these blocks are going this way, so we have to be sure there's this one. And of course we have to be sure that we get it on this side also. That's a little bit complicated what I say, but but that's only for knowledge when you are going to do it in some wax. Then you see the structure of all the blocks. But if you're going to paint it or spray paint it, you won't see it almost anymore. So I'm going to figure out exactly where I want to have it, and then I tell you. So you see I have it upside down and I have it in the middle, but it is just my brains which were not connecting to each other. So I'm sorry, but of course this is 7 blocks, this is 7 blocks, this is the middle, and you just place it in the middle of this one. So very easy. I'm going to turn it over. So he's standing up, and I'm going to let it dry for at least an hour, 1.5 hours before I'm going to spray paint it, because this one I'm going to do a little bit different. Normally I paint it, but I'm going to give it first, I think, a coat with black spray paint, and then I'm going to go over with light pieces of gold. So we will see how this will turn out, because this is a centerpiece you can use for all year round. So I want to be sure that I have a nice color for which is fitting for all year round, but it's for everyone different, because if you're not in the gold or the silver, then you don't like it, and then you can spray paint it in any color you like. So before I'm going to paint it, I of course give it a finishing touch, and that will be with a little wooden piece and ending. This is just a little mushroom, and I chose for this one, and I'm going to glue this on top. So I'm going to do some wood glue in the middle, and that we're going to let dry in, and then I'm going to spray paint it first in the black color. So I do a little glue and I place it in the middle over here. So again, we let this dry for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to spray paint. And here you see how he is turned out, and I love the color. He's a little bit mixed up with black and gold, but not shiny gold, just matte gold. So a little touches of the, of course you see in a moment how I decorate it, because if you see it this way, I think you have no idea what it will turn out. But I show you in a moment how easy this one is for decorating, and place it in this as a centerpiece in your table, and you can decorate it for any season with candles, with some greenery, with some little signs of little wood pieces. You can decorate it so easy, so it is a must-have in your decor on your table and for every season. So but in a moment you see the impression. And here finally you see a little quick impression of our centerpiece stand. Of course you can change them up for any season. You see already on the table I have different kind of wooden pieces, so you can really change them up with a kind of a push pin just on the front. I show it to you in a moment a little bit better. But of course thank you so much for being here, and of course I hope you took out your tumbling tile blocks and did this DIY together with me, and you have right now your own cute centerpiece. Of course I hope if you are here to watch, I hope you had fun watching. And if you want to see more DIYs, come on over to our description box. There you find the link for our DIY channels. So we hope to see you there. Have an amazing day. See you the next time. Bye. And of course, extra on request, of course, I show you also the DIY without all the decorations. So you can see only the DIY on his own. So this is how he's looking like without all the decorations. So of course, I hope everyone give this DIY a try. He's so easy to make. And now I'm really going. See you next time. Bye.